The brilliant coupe is a hard act for a heavier, less rigid convertible to follow, even when it looks as attractive as this. And yet, design and styling. The engineers say that cloth roofs present some engineering challenges they have not grappled with for a while, because fabric has a mind of its own when it folds. And despite the lighter roof construction, the Roma Spider has still gained a fair few kilograms from its extra strengthening. Increased material in the sills, the rear structure, the hood mounting points, and the A-pillar have added 84 kilograms compared with the coupe. Somewhat surprisingly, it's actually 11 kilograms heavier than the Portofino M. Nevertheless, the packaging benefits have given the designers an easier time. While the Spider loses some of the coupe's elegance, this is still a stunningly beautiful car, and although the whole rear end has been redesigned, it follows the coupe's lines remarkably closely. The roof has been designed to do the same, successfully rendering any pram comparisons inappropriate. Interior. In practice, the Roma doesn't lose much in the way of refinement, whether roof up or roof down. In the latter case, that's thanks to the clever new wind deflector, see separate story, which makes the Roma one of the most serene four-seat convertibles at speed, even with all the windows down. The rest of the interior is largely the same as in the coupe, cocooning you with its lovely materials, and high center console topped by an infotainment system, best described as acceptable and having Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That phone mirroring used to be displayed in the gauge cluster, but has now, very sensibly, moved to the center screen. The menus in the gauge cluster can still be confusing and frustrating to navigate due to the capacitive buttons on the steering wheel, think Volkswagen Golf. They now have ridges to guide your thumbs but still don't work particularly well. The Roma Spider retains the coupe's rear seats, though they now have a very acute backrest angle. Like in many 2+2 coupes, they're more useful for storage than carrying people, but the good thing is that in a pinch, you can. The boot only loses 17 liters of volume, reducing to 255 liters. However, that is with the roof up. To put the roof down, you need to put down a divider which makes it a much lower space. The photographer's camera bag had to travel in the back seats, and so might your luggage if you're planning a two-up weekend away. The Roma Spider retains the coupe's rear seats, though they now have a very acute backrest angle. Like in many 2+2 coupes, they're more useful for storage than carrying people, but the good thing is that in a pinch, you can. The boot only loses 17 liters of volume, reducing to 255 liters. However, that is with the roof up. To put the roof down, you need to put down a divider which makes it a much lower space. The photographer's camera bag had to travel in the back seats, and so might your luggage if you're planning a two-up weekend away. Engines and performance. With no turbulence pestering your ears thanks to the wind deflector, you can hear the engine better, which isn't always a good thing. Let's get this out of the way first. Although we're glad that the Roma remains unburdened by hybrid gubbins, the way this engine sounds is the least impressive or engrossing part of the Roma, Spider or otherwise. The 3.9-liter twin-turbo V8 is the same as in the coupe, just with some different exhaust tuning to compensate for the way vibrations resonate differently through the altered rear end of the Spider. Owing to the V8's flat plane crank, where one cylinder on one bank always fires simultaneously, with one on the other, it just ends up sounding like two angry, four cylinders, all farty exhaust noise, including plenty of contrived crackling at low speeds. The noise tightens and hardens at high revs, with more of a sense of a free-revving high-performance engine shining through, but there's no question the power plants in the Mercedes SL or Lexus LC have more charisma. There's certainly no knocking the way it performs. With 612 brake horsepower and a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 3.4 seconds, the same as the coupe, it's hard to imagine how anyone could need or want hybrid augmentation, other than perhaps for on-paper bragging rights. As in previous applications of this engine, the electronics limit torque in the lower gears to give it a more progressive character. As a result, it doesn't feel as instantly explosive as some. Use all of the nearly 8,000 RPM at your disposal, and there's no question this is a seriously accelerative car, though. The rear tires, a Bridgestone Potenza Sport specifically developed for the Roma, unlike the Pirelli and Michelin the coupe launched with, take the power staggeringly well. This should be quite a Larry car, but it absolutely isn't. On the warm, dry roads of our Sardinia test route, at least. As I worked my way through the Minatino settings, I wondered when the 285 section rears would start to struggle. So that's a little brief information that we can convey. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comments and share for other latest video updates. Thank you.